to check. One of the boxes that he needs to check. Come big time in clutch moments.
In fact, I'll just say something, right? Not even to. There's this facade that is even created when players perform big time that they're actually better than they actually are. When you show up,
that's
in
when
big
everybody's
moments,
watching.
exactly. And I mean, Martinez is one of those people. And you say it all the time. When the lights are bright, when it's a nationally televised or globally televised game, he will show up.
Yes, and so that's one of the boxes he needs to check. And the others, my guys have already said it, at least 15 assists every season. He needs to get it done. And look, we are idealists. Me, I'm an idealist, traditional guy. You are number 10. Deliver what a number 10 needs to do.
He's a traditional number 10, though.
He's a number 10. He's not a winger.
I think he spends a lot of time on the wing. You know,
He likes to drift a bit.
Yeah, he's drifting
inside
for. Yeah. So you're a number 10. You're creative. So give me Neymar vibes, more or less.
Hey, Charlie.
Give me Neymar vibes and add Neymar production in terms of his numbers. Then on top of that, give me the clutch moments. Once he can be able to tick all these three boxes, that's when he will be able to meet expectations. Other than that, even if he falls short of one box, no, he won't be able to meet the expectations.
But the feed is always.
Let me just say that.
That's how I see
for those of you, let me tell you something.
And ensure that he wins at least 2 Player of the Season awards within the time he stays at Liverpool. And that's why Eden Hazard did.
Oh, Charlie, the guy didn't ask to be bought for this price. Anyway, Florian, let me just say something.
We have to judge you on the price.
Let me just say something. So, those of you who have started with the downfall prayers, those of you whose teams can't afford your prime and first targets, look, your agenda and your downfall tweets will rot in your DMs and your drafts. I'm just letting you know that Chief Viet is here to stay. Oba Viet is here to stay. Igwe Viet is here to stay. And in the words of quote, like I said, Wakeleg Benomo. And in the Premier League, he will touch the Premier League when he comes. Mark my words and quote me on this day.
And he's a slight player. And he's slightly built. So you need to give me David Silva vibes.
Don't worry.
You need to give me David Silva vibes.
Silva vibes are your expectations. Don't worry. You don't have a problem.
I'll say my own. PFA team of the year.
Let's move it on. Let's get to some other stuff. Let's get to the camp of Manchester City because they are being praised for being the kings of doing great business. Meanwhile, coach just pointed out that they flagged their 100 million player and left him out of a major upcoming tournament. Well, Ryan Cherki has signed for Manchester City. A lot of question marks around his head, around his style of play, his attitude. Coach, let me start off with you on that note. Ryan Cherki has signed for Manchester City just in time to even participate in the Club World Cup. £34 million for a player who Liverpool looked at as an alternative for Florian Wirtz. The monetary value is, or the difference is crazy. First of all, I've had varying opinions. He's viewed by the French as one of their most technically gifted players, ball juggler, like you like to say. There are those who are suggesting that he will be nothing but a backup at Manchester City, knowing Pep and his, history. How do you feel about this guy, lefty youngster?
Both feet too. It's not
moving
left or right.
Well,
both.
No, but he's
naturally left.
He's naturally left.
But in fact,
his weaker foot is almost as strong as his stronger.
No, the guy
foot.
he's those players. He takes corner with both feet too. When you do
great.
that's how you know that.
It's like the Dembele type.
You see, he's a good player, and I think he was waiting for the next move for him to be properly acknowledged. If you look at what he was doing at Lyon, he was practically their best player, and he felt that he was actually the main man, and whatever or all the good things that Lyon did went through him.
Yeah.
But he's now going to a team where almost everybody there is extremely very, very good. And he's come at the time where they've had their worst ever season under their current manager.
Yeah.
A manager who's practically won them everything that there is to be won. He's won them. He's walked into this team, or he's been bought by Pep Guardiola, and the expectations are huge. If you look at that Man City setup, you ask yourself, where exactly is he going to play? I don't think he's going to play as any of the wingers because he's not got the quality like of a Mahrez.
He's a great dribbler. He doesn't have enough pace.
So he's not got the quality like a Mahrez, where you can ask to play on the wings and then do his thing. Where there is the need to put in good pace, Mahrez will run with the ball glued to his feet. He's not like that. He will not play out left. So he want to play in the middle. Now, if you look at this Man City setup,
So
Erling Haaland
he's
is
like
still
a younger
around.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, Erling Haaland is still around. He leads the attack. And from the things that we've seen of Mamouche, I've got the feeling that he's already justified the 70-something million
He's going to
spent
play
on him.
behind Haaland
So Mamouche plays.
or with Haaland.
Now, if you look at that, then the fact that Man City struggled
Yeah.
throughout last season when they didn't have Rodri. Rodri is coming back, but one thing you don't also want to do is to overburden him because you don't know how battle ready those ligaments are. Are they fully healed? You don't want to risk it. So tactically, you want to demarcate Rodri's movement on the pitch. That then means that some other typical ball winner will have to step in and do the job or assist Rodri in tactically performing whatever Pep wants to do. Now, if you look at the man, Cherki, I don't think he fits into any of those roles. So I tend to agree with everybody who says he's going to be a backup. Even as a backup in this role, he's got to compete with Phil Foden.
And he has to keep a smiling face.
That's right. He has to
In fact,
compete.
it's very important for Pep that you
Yeah,
keep
if
a
you don't
smiling
smile,
face
you
when you're
get
on the
out.
bench.
Even when sitting on the bench. And he's going to be battling it with what Phil Foden. Foden knows the league. He's English. We all know he was a complete flop in the just ended season. But typical of the English media, none of them have highlighted how bad Phil Foden was in the just ended season. When he took the league by storm the season before, personally, I disagree. I didn't think he should have been voted the best player of the season. I think that award again should have been given to Rodri.
Same here.
But they gave it to him. Now he couldn't live with the expectation and the pressure on his shoulders. We just saw him heads down and he couldn't perform. Now Cherki is coming into this team. What that means for him is that when when the chance is presented to him,
He'll have to.
he needs to blow it for everybody to see. So that Pep will look at him and look at Foden and say, look, the guy is better than you, so he's my first. Foden can play on the right, he can play on the left. We see him deputize in so many other positions. So look, I don't think Cherki is going to walk straight into this Man City team. The tactics will not allow Pep to do that. The fact that Mamouche, if Mamouche was not there or Haaland was not there, then you say, okay, in the absence of Mamouche, he plays behind Erling Haaland. Or in the absence of Erling Haaland, he plays behind Mamouche. That is the role he has to go and play. But even that, he's going to compete with what? Phil Foden for that number 10 role. Because Pep, this league has gotten more difficult season after season. Next season will be even more difficult than the one we just witnessed. And therefore, I cannot see the situation where Pep is going to just play with one DM. Don't forget, his centre backs are terribly slow. They've gotten slower as the seasons have gone by. Ikanji, Diaz, Ake, they are not the same players they were 2-3 seasons ago. So for me, is it a move I don't commit? I say, for the sake of the depth of the squad, don't forget, Bruyne is gone. So you can look at him and say, and then they bought this ball from AC Milan as well. It's going to be extremely difficult for Cherki, for him to get into the game. So for me, look, I agree with those who say he's going to go in there
as a backup.
So it's not a move. I think he should have gone to either a Manchester United or not even a Liverpool.
No, Liverpool don't even know what to do with Javier Elliott yet.
I don't know, but I don't know.
Like a team that's a bit more lower on the ladder.
Yes, somebody
will have
who
more
is a natural number 10
Yeah.
who will give him more playing time because he's that sort of player. The more he plays, the better he
he's
is.
a rhythm player. Hold on, hold your horses there. Let me just acknowledge our sponsors. Take a break and come back. Shows proudly brought to us by Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix, Blue Jinx Energy Drink, MasterCard, and also Royal Kingdom Estate. Let's do a quick turnaround. When we come back, we'll conclude on the City signings. We'll touch on the few transfers, and then we'll get into some other stuff. The Club World Cup, like I said, begins tomorrow, and so we'll have some time to talk about that as well. Stay with us here on the show. We'll be right back.
City 97.3 Accra.
So you need a vehicle tracking system to manage your fleet. But how do you choose the right company for real results? Most tracking companies just sell you a system and leave you on your own. But at Instroma GPS, we go beyond that. With expert consultation, real-time tracker monitoring, emergency support, and constant updates, we make sure you maximize savings and efficiency. Join hundreds of businesses that trust Instroma GPS for world-class fleet management. Call 024-676-7662 now for a free demo. Instroma GPS. Your choice, your savings.
City 97.3 Accra.
Let me get to a few messages. Sports Panorama, Benjamin Nketsia. Let me read a few messages and then we'll talk some transfers before we get into it. So this one here, let me see. Okay, I'll come back to the message box in a bit. Let's quickly get through this. So this one says minimum requirements for Viet: do better than Fernandes as soon as possible every season, which we all know is impossible. I see. This one says
better than Bruno.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he will match that.
Alkaline from Tema says, I think you've been giving coach so much time to explain himself whenever his team loses. Which team has lost?
Which team has lost?
People are, I don't know. Anyway, it's good evening, Ben. Fat Joe listening from Suhum says, I only want Susu to answer my question. Does he believe Amorim is the right manager to take United to the next level? I think he's answered that here.
Actually, to be fair, my thing is not even necessarily about Amorim. I don't think he's done well this season, but I just feel like there's so much going on the way Manchester United is run.
Yeah.
Whether it's him or someone else, success is difficult. But let's see. Right now, I'm leaning towards no. I'll say that.
From Tema Newton says, sports can do a lot for Ghana's development. Government should invest properly here. Ablekuma Moses Noy says that please update me on Chelsea's latest transfers. One thing is certain: no footballing, no excitement. Well, you bought Dario Sugo. That was the last signing you made. Anyway, this one here. It says Susupa. Why are you describing Caicedo and Enzo as flop? Because
you pay 100 million for that. I'm not seeing 100 million production.
Well,
is that 100 million production? Am I missing something?
You can ask him.
Am I missing something?
This is Hansi Flick saved my life. Texting from Greta Estates. Ben, tell namely that Cunha is the chosen one. He will graciously take United to the promised land. Deco should set up because how is Luis Diaz your first option for a left winger? And to my Scousers, Trent learns Spanish or Finnish. Liverpool fans won't make his stay. So he say he go talk the Spanish plus who. Anyway, very interesting. Let's take more thoughts on different transfer. We don't have a lot of time. Talk to me about Ryan Aïnouri. That deal has been done way cheaper than I thought. Under £40 million actually.
Yeah,
I thought more teams should have been all over him than the kind of competition Manchester City got.
Yeah, it looks like they are looking for a flying left wing back kind of player. Very interesting. It's going away from the centre backs we are seeing. So it looks like we'll probably see a very different Man City, which is interesting. But I'm not. The reason I'm not a fan of it is defensively, that's not his strongest suit. And knowing the way City are going to fly up, I guess okay, you are going to have most of the ball. He won't need to defend as much. But that makes me wonder in the Champions League, in the big games, what will happen there. So I'm not a fan of it in that way. But for that price, it's a low risk transfer if you're Man City. So I'm fine with it.
Yao Aïnouri.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I think it's a fine addition to the team. I think his addition is very likely to change Pep Guardiola's approach to how he sets his team up. He's constantly evolving. It looks like the league caught up to his evolution as a manager, his team's evolution last season, and we saw the consequences. We saw the result, and so it's likely he's going to change his system again. And what that means is that he will need a flying left fullback, left wing back. I mean, you can't continue to contend for a title by playing Nico O'Reilly as your left fullback. You simply can't do that. And even Josko Vardiol did very well when he played as a left fullback. But the best way to use him is to play him a little bit more central. And so by going in for a wing back, essentially, what that means is that, Man City are likely going to play with a back three next season. And what that means is that they need to get a little bit of an improvement from the right side of their defense. And so, and looking at the market, the right fullbacks that are free or out of contract,
they approached Newcastle on one
of
Livramento. The price that was
I don't think
they didn't go back again.
I don't think they'll get him. And when you look at the right fullbacks that are out of contract, they are all a little bit old. They don't fit the Man City specs, more or less. You look at Kenny Tete of Fulham, very good player, but he's 29 years. You look at Walker Peters, solid player, but he's 28 years. I don't think they fit in that mold. So that's the big question I pick from this Man City signing so far. But the rest, very solid signing. Ainori, Tijani Renders. The shaky bit, I don't commit, because there's a reason why this guy is taking him this while to get his
big break.
Because he was 16 when he broke into the Olympic Lyon team. Technically, he's blessed. Technically, he's blessed, beyond blessed. But at the end of the day, I've seen multiple French players like him move over to the English Premier League, and they are not consistent enough. They have a bad attitude, and it's one of the reasons why he didn't take advantage of all the talent that he's had up until last season, and he wasn't consistent up until last season. And you also bring in the question of where he's going to play. It brings way too many questions. And would he be okay sitting on the bench and waiting for Mamouche to tire out, waiting for Savinho to tire out before he gets the chance to even play? I don't think so. So I look at his attitude, playing time issues, and the fact that he's not the most consistent player. I don't commit.
Let me talk about one more another transfer. So Kevin De Bruyne, he's signed with Napoli. Very interesting deal there. I was donkoming him to Inter Milan. I thought they could use a player like that, but he's going to Napoli, Serie A champions. Did that come as a surprise to you? And how do you envisage that going?
Look, when I heard that something of the sort was going to happen, first and foremost, I wasn't surprised, because I've listened to De Bruyne himself speak. He still do believe he's got a bit more to offer in Europe. And look at the move he's chosen. He's chosen a very smart. I think he's 33, 34 years now. And he's gone to a league that will allow him to stay even more fitter. I think he will boss the Italian league at age 33, 34. Because he's that technically good. He's played with Lukaku. They are international teammates. This Napoli team looks very, very good. Scott McTominay,
and it looks like Conte will stay.
He in fact, that was why the move actually happened, because Conte was the main reason why Scott McTominay and Kevin De Bruyne decided to join Napoli. Look, it's an amazing move. The people at Napoli await the day he arrives there. The sort of reception I think that is going to be next to what they gave to Diego Armando Maradona.
You mean the kind of reception?
The sort of reception he will receive.
Because I remember the McTominay reception. I was even shocked.
Like,
this guy is more or less like a Man United reject. And the way they received
McTominay,
I was so shocked.
Imagine if the people at Napoli are smart, which I know they are. They should replicate the sort of things that Real Madrid will do for any major signing. Kevin De Bruyne should be received at the Diego Armando Maradona Sports Stadium.
So you don't commit.
And it's a move perfect for his health. Look, if the Italians cannot keep you fit as you get old, no other country, no other medics anywhere in the world can keep you fit. They are noted for that.
I understand.
So I think it's
don't commit. So let me go on to another transfer. I don't know if you want to touch on De Bruyne, but we barely have time.
Would he make the starting 11?
De Bruyne?
Hey.
At Napoli.
Oh, don't
No, because I'm looking at their midfield. It's pretty much set. I mean, Zambo and Grisa.
Forget it. It's not even. He's about to become their highest paid player. They won't make him their highest paid player to put him on the bench.
They don't have anybody.
That one will even happen. Talk to me about Nico Williams. So Nico Williams has a release clause of 58 million euros. Now, according to reports now, Bayern and Barca are the main clubs talking to him. Lamine Yamal has been teasing a Nico Williams reunion of some sort, but looks like salary demands are key.
He's lowering his salary demands.
Salary demands are key to making this deal happen. Talk to me about that. Williams leaving a Basque club. Does Barca get him? Do you think Bayern can muzzle them out for this move? Where's his head?
I believe there's a transfer that on paper everybody wins. In terms of either team he goes to, Club Athletic, the Athletic Club, the money they'll get, everybody will win. So it's one of those moves. Bayern clearly wanted another forward to play on the left. They thought they were trying to tell Wirtz and Musiala they'll kind of rotate with Olise on the right.
Yeah.
Nico Williams comes on the left for Bayern. Barca, they want another winger. Maybe Rafinha will play more centrally. You move Pedri a bit deeper. They are thinking of things to do. So for both teams, everybody is fine. It's just a move I don't come. He's an exciting winger. We've seen him for Spain. He has the ability. And maybe he'll take another step if he goes to a big club. So I don't commit for everyone involved. In fact, the only person who will be sad is Bayern or Barca who don't get him.
So Nico Williams don't commit. Yao?
Oh yeah. He's an exciting player. I've raved about him on this panel, and I've gotten a lot of pushback.
Is unjustified.
And gotten a lot of pushback.
No, it was the comparison. It wasn't.
I mean, he's an upgrade on Martinelli.
No, you said it was
Leao.
You said he was better than Leao, and I told you
I said I'll pick him ahead of Leao.
Let's not go there. You finish your points.
Yes, at least with Leao, you know that he can be extremely great or extremely poor. But with Nico Williams, even on his poor day, you know that he will constantly harass the fullback, and he will constantly run at the fullback. He will constantly dribble against the fullback and constantly cross. But with Leao, sometimes you feel like he doesn't even want to play, or he doesn't even want to be on the pitch.
It's not even true.
How is it not even true? When Leao plays,
I'm not talking about
AC Milan, first even boo him because he's not even applying himself on the pitch. Why don't we see Rafael Leao?
There's that. But you stay on the Nico Williams.
Nico Williams is a fantastic player. He's a fantastic player. If Barca gets him, it will be great because you have Lamine Yamal doing his thing on the opposite side, and you have Nico Williams. That gives you a balanced offense because Rafinha, I mean, he's not a ball juggler. And once you have a ball juggler on the opposite side in Lamine Yamal, and you have one in Nico Williams, that means you're creating a lot of problems for the opposing team on either wing, and that stretches the defense consistently, and it opens things up in the middle. So it makes life a little bit easy for Robert Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, and the guys who play behind those guys in Pedri and Gavi, and it just makes the team better, balanced, and be able to score a lot of goals. So yeah, for me, I think Barca will do him a lot of good. Though Bayern Munich need him more than Barcelona because Leroy Sané, I understand, has moved over to Galatasaray, and so they need him a little bit more than Barca do need him. But I think Barca is the better fit of the two.
Coach, you want to have a bite at this?
He goes to Barcelona, no two ways about that, because the issue is once
it's a salary issue.
Yeah, once Barca can find a way of making the deal happen, if both teams have the ability to make the deal happen, and he's left to choose, he will choose Barcelona because there he is closer to home. He's with his best friend in the national team. The two of them playing at the same club now, and then the fact that Deco, I don't know what Deco is pushing. He's pushing for the Liverpool guy,
Luis
Diaz. Liverpool will take more money.
Yeah, like 70 million.
They take like 70-80 million pounds for him. Barcelona don't have that amount of money to spend. And with Nico Williams, I think he fits directly into the Barcelona. If you look at Barcelona tactically, they don't have a left winger.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody who is a left winger. Now, if they have Yamin on the right, Nico on the left, it's a replica of what they normally do
in the national team.
The two of them are always cutting onto that strong foot and create lots of problem for the opponent, and I think that he will be a best fit. I think if Barcelona were to get him into their fold, and then try, now that they've sorted out the goalkeeping issue, they've bought the best goalkeeper in Spain, the Espanyol boy. I think as we speak now, he's the next big thing in Spain. The man is not satisfied with his compatriot Ter Stegen. So that boy comes in as the number one. They've solidified they as for their midfielders, we all know how good they can be on their day. If they can get Nico Williams, imagine him and Bardi on that side of the field. Lots of problem. I don't go him to Barcelona.
But
for Bayern Munich,
a quick one. Man United, I saw this reports of a possible swap between Man United and Barcelona, where Man United will potentially get Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, and Barcelona will potentially get Marcus Rashford.
If
it's been floated, it's not gained any traction.
I don't want that to be a deal, because Ter Stegen I don't trust. He hardly commands his area, and he's because
really an upgrade on Onana.
Yes, he is. No, he is. But if you want to solve a problem, if you want to solve a problem, a goalkeeping problem, you cannot go for Ter Stegen. He's not the goalkeeper you want to bring in to give you that authority with Maguire and co. I mean, no, don't do that. If you want a goalkeeper, go and buy somebody like Costa, the Porto boy.
Guys, and I'll go for another 100 million, 80 million.
Yeah. So maybe in the short term they can do that, but that will mean that you have to sell Onana as well. If you are going to do that exchange with Marcus Rashford, then you need to sell Onana.
Guys, any major deal I'm missing out on before we move the discussion on? Any major
Job Bellingham going to
he's a small boy. Nobody even watches him.
Oh no, following the footsteps of his brother.
Have paid Jude Bellingham tax on his brother. He's not that good.
He's not that good.
They've gone to pay some plenty money for.
I don't know why I don't know the thinking in that. Whether he can be as good as his brother.
You see, Dortmund think they can polish up anything.
They will polish him,
and then sell it for big money. That's what they are doing.
English teams will come calling.
Exactly.
Then they'll raise it 80 million, 100 million, pay and take.
But I think the other big news is that Thomas Frank is going to Spurs.
Yes.
Signed a long-term deal with them. Trent is speaking fluent Spanish. So just like I was telling people before.
Why did you make comment? I mean, he's speaking fluent Spanish. I saw that tweet that he put out.
But he had been plotting his exit.
No, but he spoke the Spanish.
No. Did he get it wrong? It's because it's indicative of he plotting his exit. No.
English people don't even learn other languages like that.
And the man understands extremely well.
You have to prepare yourself. It's an opportunity. Opportunity means that you prepare yourself.
So do you have to go somewhere when they speak? You say no. What I say?
Somebody was saying that. See,
someone like Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe knew that he was destined for Real Madrid.
Michael never learned Spanish. Guys, they never learn Spanish.
Steve McManaman.
I'm shocked.
You didn't learn Spanish.
Look, those boys, they weren't prepared.
Let me tell I like to do.
Guys, they deliver La Decima.
Sometimes I like to do football conspiracies. Let me tell you how this deal was cooked. This deal was cooked between two best friends. You know. And I'm telling you that
Bellingham.
Yes. Look, let me tell you how it happened. I'm not even saying it's fact, but I have my own theory of how this happened.
Your spidey sense.
Look, when Real Madrid first expressed interest in Jude Bellingham, this was just about 3 years ago. This is when Trent is supposedly have started learning how to speak Spanish.
Yeah, preparation.
The woman he's with now, his fiancée now, I think he's been dating her for just around that same period of time. She's Spanish as well. Now, when Bellingham knew he was going to go. Remember that everybody thought Bellingham was going to come to Liverpool.
Yeah.
What I think is that Bellingham probably told Trent that, you know what, Charlie, these people, you've won the league already. You know what, forget these people, we'll go Spain. Let's go and win. Let's go and play together at Real Madrid. We can win laurels together at Real Madrid. And if I look at the two of them, they're literally best friends.
Yeah,
two of them are literally viewed as leadership type players for the national team coming up. There's just so many similarities in there. I think Jude had a lot to do with Trent's decision to go, but I don't think so. I also think that Trent had his eyes set on Real Madrid a long time ago.
Because at the end of the day,
that's why Liverpool fans are upset. Because you can't come and tweet things like it means more, blah blah blah, or they talk.
Yeah.
He was talking too much about how Liverpool went more in that kind of stuff. It's more for you to come and leave on a free transfer.
It's history.
It's history.
No. The guy moved to Liverpool at age 6. He spent 20 years in the club.
Age 6. And that age 6 thing, let's stop that. When you are 6 and you are playing for a club, what are you doing for the club?
Oh no, relax.
What are you doing for the club?
He's achieved everything that he needs to achieve for his boyhood club. Now he's moving to his dream club.
Nobody disputes. I'm not even disputing. I'm just saying that, you see, he's like Susu is saying, he tried to make it look like, oh,
I care so much. But if you care so much, you won't behave like this.
Premeditation. They gave you a 5-year contract.
No, how has he behaved?
So they gave you an extension a long time
has
ago.
He behaved poorly?
And he kept on sidestepping the contract. And people kept blaming the club. People said, and why did Liverpool leave Trent's Liverpool gave Trent an extension like they gave Alisson. Alisson signed his extension. Trent refused his extension. So
even Salah and Van Dijk, they were ready. Even though the extension took long to come, they signed it.
Exactly.
But
so
anyway, did you meet his demands? And he says,
he's taking a lower amount
at Real Madrid.
Because that is Liverpool offered
his dream club. If you want for him to stay, you have to compromise. And by giving him
although he's taking a lower salary, but that free transfer money
is coming
to him is booming.
But you see,
speaking of England, Thomas Tuchel,
he's not gone there for free. He's gone there where Liverpool hasn't sold him their money. But the rest of the money goes to
you see, we're not even saying he can't follow his dream, but you can't come and say it means more. And this is not funny. It means more behavior.
Anyway, let's talk about the Club World Cup.
Your man, you know, won't you talk about Tommy tactics?
Oh, Nyadie. Me, I insist.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. These type of friendlies where no one cares. Let's not
against Senegal.
Are you sure?
Oh, they
don't care.
So you see, forget about nobody caring.
They played in the FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifier against Andorra. And do you see how they play? They got booed off the pitch.
You should listen to the English pundits say the team looks worse under Tuchel than under Southgate. Let me just leave it at that.
You don't worry about it. It's a qualifier. The qualifier, you don't care.
We'll get to the main
points,
competition.
You get your 3 points.
The Club World Cup begins this weekend, so we have 8 groups. It's going to be a 4-year tournament like the World Cup now, instead of an annual thing that used to feature 6 to 8 teams. Now, let me just go through the teams participating for those of you who are interested. So Group A has Palmeiras, Porto, Al Ahly and Inter Miami. So Inter Miami are the sole reps from the MLS. Lionel Messi tax works. Just in case you're wondering, it's supposed to attract. No, you see, they didn't. I know why they qualified. They didn't.
So don't do that.
But it's not legit.
That's not legit.
Why don't you take the MLS supporter shield? They want the supporter shield.
Because the MLS Cup is not how FIFA recognizes that league winners are decided. The supporter shield is a traditional league format recognized by FIFA. Am I lying?
That's weak.
The MLS Cup that when you drag, you play best of 3. Which football tournament then they play best of 3?
I'm just saying.
Seriously, which football tournament?
The Belgian
best of 3.
All I'm saying is that if Messi wasn't playing for Inter Miami, we would probably not be having this conversation. Anyway, Group B Group B has PSG, Atletico Madrid.
The world should be blessed
to
have Lionel Messi play in this tournament.
Agreed. That's what I'm saying.
That is the
it attracts numbers. Agreed.
Yes.
Group B. So PSG, Atletico,
Botafogo should have agreed to go and play in it.
And Seattle Sounders. Group C has Bayern Munich, Auckland City, Boca Juniors, and Benfica.
Auckland City, they are going to collect 8.
That's a tough group.
Yeah. Bayern has Group D has Flamengo, Esperance de Tunis, Chelsea, and LAFC. Group E. Group E has River Plate, Urawa Red Diamonds, Monterrey, and Inter Milan. Group F has Fluminense, Borussia Dortmund, Ulsan HD FC, and Mamelodi Sundowns. Group G has Manchester City, Wydad Athletic Club, Al Ain, and Juventus. And Group H has Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Pachuca, and Salzburg. So that's how it's playing out. Publicity has been pretty poor across America. They are in over their heads on how to generate attention.
The problem is that, truth be told, if you are selling this to Americans don't know Al Ahly.
Yeah.
They don't know Urawa Red Diamonds. They don't know Auckland City. All the North American teams, LAFC, Monterrey, Pachua, whatever, they play a North American CONCACAF Champions League. They see these teams every year.
Yeah.
If you want to see these Mexican teams play, it's not hard.
But they have PSG. There's Bayern, there's Real Madrid.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel the knockout rounds, when all these teams have been knocked out, the interest will come. because it will be like a Champions League being played in America, because that's what it's going to look like.
So you think it will pick up?
It will pick up, but I believe in the beginning. And you know another problem with this Miami FC problem. Apparently, all of Miami FC's games are in Miami. Inter Miami's games are in Miami. Those people, they see him every week.
Yeah.
They see him every other week. Not every week. Every other week.
Yeah.
If you had been moving Inter Miami's games around, I'm sure he would have sold a lot better.
People want to see Messi in Kansas City.
Yeah. But if he is in Inter Miami and you are now charging them double what they would pay for a normal MLS ticket to go and watch a team they don't know.
So now they've reduced the price.
But that's exactly the point. Because if you are saying now, oh, Messi is going to play Al Ahly. Who are Al Ahly? Oh, some team from Egypt. They'll be like, Messi that we see every other week. You want us to pay double to go and see him play against Egyptians?
Yeah.
It won't work.
Anyway, so the total prize pot is $1 billion. The winner gets $125 million. That's
and all the African teams are getting 10 million.
Yep.
We are dead on this continent.
This is wild money, especially this is fortune telling money for African clubs. This is crazy money.
Do you know what will become of them if they go and get this money? You target Anano in your field.
Yep.
You entertain Coach Ouattara Ololo.
And that could actually be built.
Right now, he talks about wound to me and things at his press.
Can you imagine?
I don't know.
As a full coach.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised.
He's blaming the supporters for the team not performing.
Yeah, he says you guys support and care more about Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Arsenal more than Accra has of football.
But see the rubbish that's happening.
So basically, 63 matches to be played across 12 venues in 11 cities. Coach, I don't know. You have any hint on who you think will win this competition? The European giants obviously are favorites, but
of
who
course,
takes
I think they are the team to beat.
Who? Real Madrid, Man City?
No,
PSG?
Man City. I think PSG. They are the team to beat. I don't know the mentality with which they will go, but because look, it's a tournament in my view that is being played at a time where, whether you like it or not, if you are a coach and you don't do your things right in terms of balancing the fitness of your team will come back next season, and by the halfway they'll be burnt out. So the likes of PSG and will have to exploit the depth of their squad to make sure that players' fitness are not compromised, and you want to balance the books. Having said that, on the face of what we witness, we all do agree that the Champions League is the best club competition in the world. And if you look at the manner in which they did their business, how very good and solid they were, the quality of their football, the commitment of their players, and the sort of dominance that they showed in games that some of us thought would be even more difficult, the manner in which they just blew team away per their football, and the quality of the coaching they've got. You are talking about Luis Enrique, one of the best coaches in the game. You are talking about Pep Guardiola, he will be present. You see, on the coaching field, I think we are going to be experiencing some of the very good coaches picking their strength against some learners. I do think, for example, the Chelsea coach is still a learner on the job, because this will be his second major top flight tournament in which he's going to coach. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that the teams from Africa go there and not go and embarrass us as a continent, because I want to see El Ahly. I think El Ahly, look at that group, they should be qualifying from that group. You look at Sundown, the sort of football they play, they should step out there and feel very buoyant in their approach and believe that they have what it takes to qualify from that group. I want to see about 2 of the African teams in the last 8 of the competition. There anything can happen, and you want to believe that the quality of the African Champions League will be shown. It's about showing what every continent has got to offer at club level. That is simply the way it is. And for teams like El Ahly, they can buy proper talent from elsewhere in Europe, from South America, to beef up the quality of their play. They should go out there believing that they have what it takes to compete. But having said that, I think PSG is the team to beat, and you can't also not look at Real Madrid. I don't know. This could be their only cup for the season, isn't it? They've gone trophyless by their very high established standard. This is one of their worst ever seasons.
You don't count Super Cup and those things.
I don't count those. I mean, we are looking at the season, and they couldn't win the knockout, they couldn't win the league, they couldn't win the Champions League. Go win this. for players like Mbappe and Vinicius Juniors, they have to go. I think they are virtually the face of this competition.
Yeah.
I think Leo Messi has just been drafted in there to add a bit more spice to it in terms of the quality of the players that we are going to watch. But look, you have to look at Real Madrid, you have to look at PSG, and then outsiders. I think the teams from South America too will have to be looked at.
Yep.
You have to look at them because
Fluminense and Flamengo both have very
good teams.
interesting players,
know,
and they have a couple of veterans.
On
from-
their day, they can stand up to any
I
of these
don't. I
teams.
don't think so. Because their players are old. You have
Okay, maybe
because
that may be their own day.
Fluminense, as of last season or just a year and a half ago, Felipe Melo was playing there at 42.
Yeah.
Is he still playing?
You get what I'm saying?
They
Like,
had David
if you
Luiz at a point.
David Luiz at Flamengo. Then
Now
Thiago
Jorginho-
Silva-
now Jorginho is at
Jorginho has just
Flamengo.
joined Flamengo.
Okay.
Thiago
Then-
Silva is at Fluminense. Like the players are just old. It's not
Then
that
that would be the problem.
You see, if it was those same teams 10 years ago with the names they have 10 years ago, I'll be like, these are good teams. But at their age, if you remember the last time, was it the Club World Cup or something they played? Was it Liverpool? Was it Liverpool played the Club World Cup against Fluminense?
Yeah.
And their players they couldn't run.
They couldn't run.
So it's just that they are quality players, their experience and know-how shines too. Edison Cavani is playing for Boca Juniors and stuff. They are quality players, but that lack of athleticism at this age, it will show. I just feel like imagine Fluminense trying to defend their PSG, like defend PSG. Look at Inter Milan, what they did to them. Then Fluminense with 40-year-old Thiago Silva and co.
Thiago Silva is playing for them.
Yeah. I'll be looking out for Real Madrid. I mean, with Xabi Alonso, this being his more or less like audition ahead of
Man City.
It's huge.
ahead of the new season. Yeah, he'll be under the spotlight because if you come in for a big guy like Carlo Ancelotti with all the things that he won and achieved at Real Madrid and the politics regarding playing time, dealing with the fact that they do not have the best of defenders, but funny enough they are not signing people to address that position, and they are spending on Mastantuono. I understand that they've announced the signing of the young chap from Argentina. How is he going to balance all these things? And so that will be something I will be looking out for at the Club World Cup. How Xabi Alonso handles his audition.
Well, let me just say
as head coach of Real Madrid.
So Boca Juniors, interesting players, right? They have Sergio Romero in there,
former Man United
goalkeeper. They have Marcos Rojo.
Also
in that mix, and then you can go on and talk about Luis Advíncula. Not too popular, but if you follow South American football, you'd know Luis Advíncula. Let me see. Alan Velasco is a guy I know as well, and then like Susu mentioned,
he's at least a decent age.
Yeah, and then there's Edison Cavani. They have some young players. Ezekiel Zeballos, pretty good wing. They have some. The Argentine teams especially have very good mix of veteran and like youth breakthrough service. Very interesting.
Like I was looking at the Fluminense team, and it's just what I'm saying. So Felipe Melo is not there. So it's Thiago Silva, Renato Augusto. Do you remember
Renato?
You remember
old guys?
You remember Ganso, Neymar's friend.
One of the biggest flops. The guy, the biggest ifs. Hey, Ganso.
Like,
tell me Gabriel Barbosa is also there. Let me close the show.
Ganso. Oh man.
Are you kidding me? Oh man,
Ganso was still to do a lot of big things, but it never materialized.
So the Club World Cup is beginning. We'll bring you all the updates, the scores and all of that. Let's move it on and talk about something else real quick that's happening. The MTN FA Cup final is also happening this weekend at the University of Ghana Stadium. Golden kicks up against Kotoko. Karim Zito's Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Yeah, let me start off with you on that one. Lots of people are predicting an upset in that game for some reason. Kotoko can't seem to play against teams that put the ball on the turf and can pass the ball well. You think that we have an upset on the cards, or
no?
Pedigree will just come through for that.
I don't think we have an upset on the cards. I think Pedigree will come through, but not so much based on pedigree. I see Kotoko winning, but not so much based on pedigree. I think it will be down to they being a little bit familiar with golden kick style because and preparation too. Familiarity and preparation. Well, they prepare. And because of their preparation, they'll become familiar with it. And the fact that they played against Vision FC on the last day of the Ghana Premier League, and they got spanked pretty much in the second half, especially Patrick Asiedu's side of the pitch, the left full back. They really used that side of the pitch and got 3 goals. And Vision, the way they play, Golden Cake, they kind of mirror their style. And so what that means is they've been given a taste of what Golden Cake would provide on Sunday. And so I think they should be a bit comfortable playing against Golden Cake on Sunday, especially when they will have like a proper full week to prepare for this matchup. And on top of that, the hunger. Look, they missed out on winning the Ghana Premier League title. If they had won the Ghana Premier League title and qualified automatically to the Champions League, honestly, I believe they would have brought in younger players. They still would have been a little bit jubilating mood and wouldn't have taken this game too seriously. So then an upset would have been on the card. But they losing in a very poor fashion against Vision FC.
Yep.
And the fact that you have a Karim Zito who is experienced, has won this tournament before with Dreams FC, and the overall quality that they have, and the fact that they got a taste of what they will be up against Golden Cake, thanks to that game against Vision FC. I think I look at all these factors, they should be good enough to win the league, knowing very well that once you win the FA Cup, you qualify to the CAF Confederations Cup. That's the least Kotoko can do at this point. Get to Africa. If you are not going to get to Africa in the Champions League, at least make it to the Confederations Cup and bring the season, what has been a very, very turbulent, very controversial, very disappointing league, to a very good end or solid end. Because mind you, this is a campaign that had Kotoko fly to the United States of America. They had to drop some players, bring in some players, and then 2 players run away from camp.
That seems like such a long time.
2 players run away from camp when they were in America. And then you had a polling incident, you had Dr. Prosper Ogun sacking, a whole lot of chaos.
Very turbulent.
So very, very turbulent season, very chaotic season. So I think winning the MTN FA Cup will just bring that season to an end, at least not on a great note, because that would have been winning the league and qualifying to the Champions League, but at least on a solid note. Right. And I think they should be good enough to be able to win the MTN FA Cup on Sunday.
Coach, let me take your thoughts on that MTN FA Cup.
Yeah, so like I've said, when Karim Zito was given the appointment, I said, if he doesn't win this, he gets sacked. Because that is the standard they have set.
Yep.
If they sacked Ogum at the time where he was third on the league, he was in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, it means that whoever you are bringing in, minimum, should be able to win at least the FA Cup. And I did say here also that concerning the league, he had some deficit to crawl back. But for the FA Cup, you beat what is in front of you and then you progress. So he has no excuse, especially if you look at the opponent they will be playing against without looking down upon golden cakes. Come on, this is Kumasi Asante Kotoko we are talking about here. If I'm a management member and I'm involved in the decision making, nothing would allow me to keep Karim Zito in this position. If he doesn't qualify Kotoko to the Confederation Cup via this tournament, I will not accept that. Because Karim Zito, without a doubt, is one of the best coach in the country as we speak. And you are taking Kumasi Asante Kotoko to play against a Division 1 team. They must be mindful, though, that the FA Cup is full of surprises everywhere in the world. It's a custom for that. So you have to approach this with all level of seriousness. On the part of Golden Kings, they've got nothing to lose. If they get beat on the day, nobody's going to go ranting about Kotoko beating them. But if they were to pull an upset, this story will stay for as long as it can. And year after year, given the chance, we will remember or refer Kotoko to them losing the FA Cup. Don't forget, I think in recent times, they've lost the FA Cup to a Division 1 team. So they are capable of losing it. if you are Karim Zito, tactically you need to do that, use that to remind the team that we were once in this situation against such an opponent and we got beat. There's a silverware. In Ghana, you either win the league or you win the FA Cup. The league, without a doubt, is the most prestigious cup you want to win. If you're a Kotoko, you should be thinking about winning the double. If you don't win the double, you want to win the league. But here's the case where you've not won the league. You have an opportunity to win the next in line, or the only other cup that we play for here in this country. So you have to win it. And you see, if Kotoko were to show up, I think they will, but they have to be very careful. Because these lads, they are young, they are fitter.
I've seen them play. They
pass the ball.
They are a very good
intent. They must be informed that on their way to the final, they also beat about 2 or 3 Premier League teams. So beating Kotoko will not be something that is beyond them. Golden Kicks on their day, with the sort of fitness level, they anytime I've watched them, they've covered the most distance against every opposition I've seen them play. Their boys are fit, and one thing that is guaranteed, they will run. So it is not the time for Kwame Poku and Co to show their seniority while the game is going on. Get to work. That is the message. Get to work. Do your job.
I agree.
And make sure you win the cup for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I want Kotoko to win because I want them to go to Africa. I think they will give us a better showing in Africa than Golden Kicks will do. Because of that, I want them to win. But failure to do so, without a doubt, if I'm a management member, I'm in charge of making the decision, I will sack Karim Zito.
Let me finish off today by talking about boxing. So there's a big bout at the Bochum Boxing Emporium. The place is already full. It's crazy. The main event's around 11 p.m. But the place is already full. Undercard bouts happening. Anthony Joshua brought some frenzy to all of it with his motorbike riding antics through town. So the bout has been put together by Sharaf Mahama and Amir Khan. Amir Khan is
Sharaf Mahama.
Yes, and
Amir Khan, the
British boxer. So Sharaf Mahama owns a boxing promotion.
That's
house.
the son of the president.
Yes,
it's good if such a person is investing in sports.
He owns. It's good. He has a boxing. In fact, he has a sports marketing agency.
That is good,
and they do some boxing as well. And so I think it's called Legacy Sports. I'll check the name for you specifically. And then so Legacy Rise Sports, that's the name. So in collaboration with American, so they have Anthony Joshua in attendance, but the bout itself is between 2 not so big names, but the promotion itself is pretty big. Andrew Tabiti and Jacob Dixon. A lot of people won't remember Andrew Tabiti, but he was on the undercard bout of the Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight. That's how I remember him. I saw him in the undercard bouts. He's competing. He's 35 years old, so pretty old. And then there's Jacob Dixon, who is 27 years old from Accra. So
the Dixon is a Ghanaian.
Yes, Jacob is a Ghanaian. 14-1. That's his record. So he's won 14 and lost just 1. He has 13 KOs to his name. Yes,
the old man should be African.
His only fight outside of Ghana was really his best level of competition against Alberto Ramirez. He lost that bout, so that was his only defeat. So that's a little red flag there, but it's a big fight so far. I am happy about where boxing promotions are going, because for a long time the Emporium was struggling for consistent activity or sold out activity. So I would say that this is a good step. As far as usage is concerned, it's a good step as far as trying to uplift boxing in this country is concerned, because boxing is on its knees.
Yeah, man. For the last Olympic game, we couldn't even take
for the boxer. So that's the little. Just quickly on that for me before we run out of here.
I mean, it's like Coach said, it's good because this is someone, because of his name, he can bring more eyes to the sport. I think the sport it needs a restart. And if you remember, we spoke about our sports minister and being on top of other sports.
Traveling to look at stadiums.
More of these things need to happen. We need to see more of this for other sports. Boxing is our second sport in Ghana. We know this. So it's good that something is happening. We want to see more of this. But it shouldn't be just boxing and football. There's other sports, there's other potential.
Yeah.
The guys were someone broke a national record in was it 100 meters?
In fact,
Rashid
for
Samir.
like 10 days, he was the fastest man in the world.
Exactly.
Before the record was
we
broken.
need to make sure there's some support for him and that kind of stuff. But me, I'm happy that they are doing something else. Like I said, I believe we do too much football in this country and too little return for that football at this point in time, to be frank.
True.
So yeah, it's good.
And just a quick one on the Thomas Partey Foundation tournament. I covered later earlier today.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Kowana. So they ended up winning the tournament and beating Dansuma Wise by 3-1. Dansuma Wise were the defending champions, and they made it to the final this year too. And this time around, their championship ambitions got thwarted by Kowana. So a big shout out to Kowana and all the teams that participated in the tournament, and a big shout out to Thomas Partey and especially Sam Ziga, who put it all together. Yeah, he did a tremendous job, and can't wait to see what next season brings.
And a happy birthday to Thomas Partey as well. Today's his birthday, actually.
Really? Controller.
Yeah, today's his birthday.
Give it to your boss.
I want to believe.
Give it to your boss.
He turns 33 today.
Yes.
He turns 33
Give it to
today.
your boss.
Today is his birthday. I'm your boss. I'm here. Give it to me.
Give it to me. Show up, boy. Ani bula boy bechi. Meji onupa kahachi. Odiga. Basamoshi. Kwa kahachi kuose. Meji Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Saliba awo jishin yese. Na triple o. Imba.
That's
Go na me no memory. Ma jaji ni bi.
So big shout
The
out to
controller is in town. Oh Charlie.
So that's Thomas. And tomorrow we'll be at the Ghana Football Awards at the Grand Arena at the Conference Center. It's a platform to award Ghanaian sportsmen and women who have been exceptional in the calendar year.
Yeah.
So we will be there. We'll bring you updates on that one. Look out for updates on the boxing activity also on Citi Sports GH and all our platforms. And then I can also talk about something escaping me. There's an NBA final game 3 tonight for those of you who care about that. That's happening. I think it's
yeah.
And then
12:30.
I don't know what else I'm missing out on.
Yeah, but I'm rooting for the Ghana Football Awards, the home base player of the year category. I'm rooting for Rudolph Mason to win it. Rudolph Mason was Federal All Blacks. The guy scored 27 goals in 30 games. Yeah, I know it's in Division 1, but his goals.
That is even more difficult.
If you see the pitch they play football on and the conditions, that is very impressive.
And his goals, I always say this: football is a team sport. So yes, individually you can be brilliant, but your brilliance must reflect or translate to your team success. And it reflected because he got Federal All Blacks to qualify to the Ghana Premier League for the first time in 16 years. And I look at the numbers of the players that played in the Ghana Premier League who have been nominated. It doesn't blow me away because Stephen Amankuna got 15 goals. Faisal Chawete got 12 goals.
Let's go south before we go. Let's say happy belated birthday to Mr. Graham.
Mr. Graham, Susu Graham.
See the way he has this innocent look.
Friday night.
I didn't even know we were going to mention.
No, happy belated. I know that just a few days ago. So shout out to you. Be happy. I'm sure you had a good one. I'm sure you'll be having a good one as you go along.
A belated celebration on a Friday night.
I just baked for myself. I just baked some big good for myself.
I was extremely happy because God has given me a certain gift. When I'm walking and you are happy, I can tell. So on that day, the level of happiness was extremely.
Oh, really?
Oh. There is the other way I normally say it, but that one I cannot say it.
Thank you very much. Coach, you got some shouts for me.
So I'll give one shout.
Then
we go and come back.
Then
when we come back, I'll continue with my Tumu campaign. I said I will do this thing every week until we are done. So, to my colleague at the Roman Reed School, Mrs. Kwanchua Adobia Frimpong. Adobia Kwanchua Frimpong. God bless you. You listen to this program every now and then together with your husband. Mr. Frimpong, I've gotten the message. So this shout out is from me, Coach Nimley, and my team here, the Sports Panorama team, to you and of course your beautiful wife, who is a colleague at work, Mrs. Kwanchua Adobia Frimpong. God bless you, and I look forward to meeting you very soon. God bless you.
Nice one.
A big shout to Matthew Bruyne. I mean, he's a Ghanaian British former basketball player who's in town, made his way over to the Spintex Nights training session. I went to cover him, so big shouts to you and all the support that you're providing to Ghana basketball. And speaking of basketball, the GSP Basketball League, that's in Sunyani. Yeah, it ended over the past weekend, and Techiman Merchants, they ended up winning that title. So congratulations to them. And a big birthday shouts to a big Liverpool fan in this house, Nashika Caesar.
Apostle.
Nashika
Caesar.
Yeah, name now.
She's an apostle.
Yeah, a big birthday shouts to Nashika Caesar. Yeah. And Fifi and I salute you too.
Nice.
Yeah,
one.
I just
nice
want to
one.
give a shout out to Miss Janet Anning, my birthday twin in the company. So happy belated birthday to
Nice
her.
one there,
And
nice one
shout
there.
out to everyone, and thank you to everyone who wished me, and shout out to the fans. I love you guys. You know, we do this for you. Shout out to the Chelsea fans especially. I just want to add something small. I'm giving a shout out.
200 million pounds. How can you say that 200 million pounds is a flop?
All I said, mommy, the criteria is simple: 100 million pounds. You have to make team of the year. Declan Rice has made his PFA team of the year. He's clear. Enzo and Caicedo, we are waiting for you. Don't worry, we are waiting. Lukaku too, we are waiting.
Nice one.
No more Ofana Yeshibame. You are about adore His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on behalf of the people of Tumo. Nketsia, 3 weeks ago today, I landed in Tumo, and I will continue to say this. It's a humble appeal that I'm giving to the President of the Republic. What I saw, I have never seen in my life. I don't want to see it again. I don't come from Tumo, but on behalf of the people, please, that is the biggest maize producing constituency in Ghana. I have said the road leads to the former president, His Excellency Dr. Hilary Man. Along that road, you get to the Dr. Hilary Man's village road, and then when you continue, it takes you all the way to Burkina Faso. The road is in a terrible state. I saw it very bad 3 weeks ago. It has started raining, and in Nketsia, the information I'm getting is that you dare not put your saloon car on that road. There are two types of vehicles that travel on that road. Only those big trucks carrying the goods to Burkina Faso, and your pickups, and at times Land Cruisers. We are begging that the people of the north deserve their fair share of the cake. Please, Your Excellency, let's start from the people at Tumu. Do that road, and that will be a legacy for you. I'm so grateful that as I continue this campaign, you will bless the people of Tumu in the name of Jesus. God bless His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Amen.
And then big shouts to Fauzu Masaudu. Big shouts to Fauzu Masaudu. You have the ear of the president. You have the ear of the minister of interior. Fauzu Masaudu.
It's not just politicians, even the celebrities. I saw him last time. I
was about to sprinkle spices on it.
All weather Fauzu. Thank you very much. David Nilatelate. David Prime. I was coming to
Daniel Pedi.
Daniel Pede and Dominic Gucci.
We forgot about
Bless the coach, namely Susu Graham. I am Benjamin Nketsia. Made apologies today for the poor quality of the feed on YouTube. We'll make it up to you. Keep your dial right here. Keep enjoying the programming.